Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about Big Brother Canada 9, the double eviction, and the house meeting, these fights. So good.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up.
And we're on Patreon, and there's a link in the description if you want to support us there.
Hi, guys.
All right. I actually forgot until tonight that it was a double.
Hey!
For me.
David, you had a busy week. You were distracted. You forgot all about tonight's a double.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about Wednesday's episode. We're going to talk about this double eviction. Could have been a little bit more exciting, but doubles just inherently are deciding. Did I say deciding? I meant exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know words. But let's start Wednesday's episode.
Yes.
And also, let me just go ahead and say feeds are back, but they have not played the next HOH, so we actually don't know like where this week is heading as of yet. But if I see it, we'll talk about it later. Right.
Absolutely. So this is coming off of Beth put up Rohan and Tara next to each other, right? And
yes, with the knowing that she has a plan.
Yes, right. And she's like calling Rohan out as her target in that moment. So we're like coming out of that because she's got this like sinister plan. And Victoria's like feeling very comfy, you know? She's like, I don't care who goes home, like Rohan or Tara, it's all good. And she's just still feeling very good about where she is and where her gate is.
Sure. Well, I mean, she knows she has to act at all times. You know, she is so excited to be aligned with Jed and Ty, and she just keeps Beth around, you know, for a second. But she's like, oh, Beth's like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
Yeah, right.
That kind of stuff.
Acting like they're still very much in together. And then Tara, I thought Tara went through a lot this week, right? But initially, she's kind of talking about like, because everybody's kind of aware of this backdoor plan, except for Victoria, of course. But Tara's like, I don't really want to be up there against Victoria because like, it's going to be a smear campaign. And she's kind of talking to Tina and Kiefer here. And then it weirdly turns into like a bickering match between her and Kiefer, where she's like calling him out like, well, you're not really on my side, Kiefer. And it's like tensions are just so high. And Tara just feels like she can't kind of keep it together and like.
Welcome to a conversation with Tara.
Yeah, right.
It is never positive. It's always cranky and complaining. And she's not, her skill set does not include just saying polite things to get by in the game. Right. Like even this week when she was campaigning, she did not say, Beth, you're safe. She was like, and Beth, I probably will have to put you up as a pawn. Like Tara does not know. I mean, she starts with like, yeah, I'm loyal to you, Kiefer and Tina. And she ends with, Kiefer, you need to choose me over other people. It's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, know the right thing to say to the right person. But it is interesting because we're just kind of getting these sound bites and understanding this, like the status of the house, right? So Tara thinks Kiefer's spending, you know, too loyal to the guys, which is true. That's the thing. But Kiefer's making it clear he doesn't like Ro. Ro's got to go. Tina's making it clear, but Vic is so dangerous. She's got to go. Tara's like, Jed and Ty, don't trust them, Kiefer. You know, we're seeing all of these just sort of like different levels. And Brayden working with Ro to get this this Vic thing.
He is. I was impressed with the way that Brayden played the game this week.
100.
He's like in with a lot of different people. And I was a bit shocked at first when Rohan was like, Brayden, I need you. He basically was like, I need you to do the work for me. Like, I can't do this. You have to do it. And I was like, why are you like sending someone else to do this, to do your work? But Brayden was like down and handled it. Like he just was like directing the conversation all week, right? Like he wasn't pushing too hard, but just very focused on this Victoria backdoor because he is now convinced that she was the invisible HOH. This is before she's like fully admitting to it on Thursday's episode, of course. But he's just in there with Beth, and I loved how he played it this week.
Well, I think Ro did his part. It was a two-pronged plan, right? Ro
Yes.
had to sit down with Beth and be like, I got you. I will work with you. I will help take Jed and Ty out when you're ready. Like
Uh-huh.
Ro had to take that angle, but Ro can't do much with Jed and Ty. They have it out for each other. So
Right.
he's like, Brayden, you're my soldier that goes in to talk to Jed and Ty. And Brayden, I mean, Austin leaving was the best thing for Brayden's game.
Hmm.
That first night, Austin's gone. Beth has won HOH, and Brayden's right there in the HOH room with her and just giggle, 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 talk, talk, talk.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, backdoor
Right.
Vic. Love it. Let's do it.
Right.
I was like, Brayden, yes.
I know. He's like, Beth, you got a new gay best friend because Austin's gone
Mm-hmm.
now. And like, she was ready for that. And Beth, I
She
think,
was.
is at this point where, I think we saw it last week. She's starting to think ahead in the game. She's thinking about like, oh, Ty and Jed are probably going to go to the end with each other. So this is like prime time to get in for Ro and Brayden to get in there and say, okay, eventually you're going to need to get rid of them and we could do that for you. Like, it's just really good timing. And Beth is really responsive to that, even with Rohan. Like the whole week is sort of about how Beth wants, she's in with Rohan and she wants him to stay. And Ty and Jed are in with Vic and they want her to stay, So like that's kind of becoming a rift between the trio here.
Yeah, for sure. We do just get a moment like Rohan wins Skip the dishes again.
Right. Uh-huh.
Because Canada loves him, loves that he's an underdog, doesn't like that he keeps getting on slop, and it just kills Kiefer. Kiefer can't handle it. He doesn't like Ro. They don't get along, and it kills him that Ro might be Canada's favorite because Kiefer would like to be Canada's favorite.
But you're not Kiefer. Rohan is
not at the moment.
At least currently, maybe now you have a chance, but
maybe
it's just.
But I just like that they touched on it on Wednesday's episode because obviously it played out in Thursday's episode, but that is the success of the house, basically.
Right.
They pick their veto players.
Mm-hmm.
You got Brayden, Tina, and Ty, who are going to obviously play with the noms, Tara and Ro.
Yeah.
And could this veto comp have been more complicated?
No, the length of the rules that Victoria was reading, like first of all, she had like a whole like laminated sheet of paper. It was probably printed top to bottom. And Brayden's face was like, what are you, how many steps are there to this competition? I mean, I don't even they're flipping the dogs into the bun and like
first memorize.
Yeah, right.
Memorize first. Now take it. Pineapple ring toss. Hot dog toss.
Cornhole
spatula
toss.
Throw. What? Now, once everything's on there, position it. It was a lot. We only got 2 people who even got to that last.
Who even finished? I know.
It was just Ro and Brayden.
Because it really is hard to like.
And also they were sweating. Did you notice how sweaty they were? It might have taken a minute.
A long time, I think. And because did they say there was a time limit at the top of the comp? Or do you think
I don't remember that, but all of a sudden we're like, you got a minute left.
You have 1 minute left. I'm like, oh, this is timed. Because it felt like it took forever. Because watching them try to throw the things on the grill, that is not easy to get those stuffed things to land and just stay there. And then you see them like they're knocking their own pieces off. It's just like so difficult. And only Rohan and Brayden finish. And only Rohan is right. So he wins the veto. Yep. And this is his 3rd veto in a row.
3rd veto in a row. He is a veto king. We had a Janelle on our hands. Yeah. It was impressive. He is ready to take himself down and fight for his little game there. I love it.
Oh, yeah. But then, oh boy. So now, now we kind of know as the audience that Rohan's coming down and more than likely Victoria is going to go up here. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
What do they show us immediately? Victoria is up there with Beth. Talking game. Oh, Tina's going to go up, right? Yeah. We got to put Tina up because we got to break up that duo. And Victoria is just like clueless as to what is happening around her.
She is not seeing this coming, but she's playing her part as an alliance member. Like that's what you got to do. You got to go up in that room and you got to say what we thinking. Yep. What's the plan? Tina. Yeah. Duo. Yeah. I mean, they're a pair. Tina, Tara. That's a pair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The other option would have been Brayden. That name got thrown around a little bit during the week, but nope. Not gonna happen.
No.
And honestly, this was the only way it could go down because the guys were nervous, right? Jed and Ty, we see them being like, we're not ready to take Vic out. Like, she's not coming for us. Ro is coming for us. Like, there was no way that Beth could have really done her plan unless Ro won.
Right. Yeah. So it's best case scenario for Beth here. And then, Victoria is continuing to have conversations, and we see this great moment in I don't know if it's the backyard, wherever they get the, fresh air, sunlight. She's talking to Brayden and Rohan. First of all, for some reason, Rohan brings up backdooring. Like, I'm like, there's a backdoor plan in the works. Why would you bring up that you potentially could get backdoored at some point? Because then that like plants a seed for Victoria. And she's like, oh yeah, backdooring, like that would suck. You guys would for sure let me know, right? If there were backdoor plans to get me out. And they're both like, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yes. You know it, girl. Yes.
We got
Brayden, who's like, you just put me up last week. Oh, of course, I'm going to give you a heads up. You know it.
On your side, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of just little snippets here to make us realize that this is truly, truly going to be a shock to Vic. And it was. We get to the veto ceremony and Rohan takes himself down. And then Beth comes in with a little speechy speech. And she's like, some people lie and backstab, but if you're going to do that, you got to get them out first. And things are about to get spicy, Victoria. And Victoria's not even hearing it.
No, no reaction.
The cue of spicy.
I know. I was like, nothing with the word spicy. Like, spicy in this house refers to you, Victoria. And so not until she hears her name.
No. She almost
truly
didn't hear her name. She was like, who? Oh, me? What? Oh, yeah. And she goes and sits down. And that's how we end Wednesday's episode, where she is just now been the renum.
Oh, she's absolutely blindsided. I mean, she was telling Ty, I will never do you dirty. She's pledging allegiance to Beth, and like she just won't shut up. Like Victoria is a talker. She even was like consoling Tara before the veto ceremony. She's like, girl, like it's okay. And I'm just like, so this was a full-on blindside, and like you don't see this that often in Big Brother, like pulled off successfully like this.
I didn't think it was possible because Beth told everybody, literally everyone.
Yeah, everyone knew. Yes.
And there was a point when Jed and Ty were like, we have to get ahead of this and tell Vic ahead of time. Like, we have to do damage control for ourselves. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to blow up Beth's game. They're going to tell Vic what's going to happen. And they didn't. Nobody ended up telling Vic. It was a complete secret. And she was totally shocked.
Totally shocked. Then Thursday's episode. I have never seen an episode of Big Brother open more dramatically than with this. Like,
what was this?
In a house of mirrors. Like, it was like, what?
I was like, what are we getting at here? And it was somewhat long. Like, it was not short. And it was and dramatic and this and dramatic.
And like sound bites from everybody in the house about like, who's coming after me? We got to take the shot first. Like, it's just so dun, 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 double eviction. I was like, great. Yeah, bring the drama. Okay. Because I also know, like, I've been seeing, the clips from the feeds on Twitter and social media and whatnot. And so I'm like, I know what's coming with Victoria's campaign here. So this is going to be a dramatic hour.
But it's like a different dramatic. Like, that was like dramatic. And then it's like, Big Brother. Okay, back in it. Okay, here we go. Here's the Big Brother I know. Yeah. So that we're back here. We're starting with like, okay, Victoria's surprised. Oh,
she's surprised, and she says, I'm gonna stay cool, calm, and collected. That is my strategy here, and that's how I'm gonna stay in this game. And that is, I think, the right strategy. Just go around, remind everybody, I'm with you. Like, what? This is so weird. Like, there's clearly been a misunderstanding, but like, no hard feelings, which we do see a lot of this from her this week, where she's like, I'm still with you. Like, if I get out of this, I'm indebted to you now. So this cool, calm, and collected thing, I think was the right strategy, but it only lasted for so long.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she did a great job of it on Monday. Right after the veto, she did not freak out. I was very impressed. She sat down in that HOH room and was like, you didn't want me to say your names? Oh,
right. Yeah,
my
right.
bad.
I thought that was the plan.
I thought you knew that I was like getting info from the other side. And they're like, you said our names though. Like that.
And she's like, but that's how you play both sides of the house. Like, that's kind of right. Like, that's how it's done. But sorry, of course, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. If I knew you'd be upset about it, I would have never done it. Totes loyal to you. Like she's doing what she can. Like, you know, she got caught saying their names and she's like, no, I'm loyal to y'all. I swear, I swear, I swear. Yeah. And, you know, there were definitely times when the triangle believed her and bought it and didn't want to get rid of her. I mean, Jed and Ty, you know, they don't want to get rid of her. And it's true. She is loyal to them. She was only coming after Beth. It was only Beth. So, you know, they do fall for it a little bit. But then, you know, she gets caught up in this. Oh, you want me to call out Tara? Oh, I'll call out Tara. Okay.
I'll do it.
I'll do it for you.
And this is where she kind of loses her way because she's like really trying to show Ty, Jed, and Beth that she is loyal to them. She's trying to prove that here, but she's like almost forgetting that Beth is the HOH. So like she's only going to vote in a tiebreaker, and Ty and Jed are 2 votes. So we get this like huge blow up house meeting fight. It's not even really a house meeting. They're just like all outside. And Victoria's like, while we're all here, I got some things to say. And she just like loses her way with the campaign, I think, here, because she is just burning bridges with everybody who is not Ty and Jed.
Right. I mean, you're trying to call out Tara, so you're definitely losing Tara here. Guess who's super aligned with Tara? Tina. She also went in hard on Ro. So you're losing Ro at this point.
You're losing Ro.
I don't know that you had Brayden because you put him on the block last week, but this isn't helping. So yeah, at the end of it, like I watched the whole thing on the feeds, and I was like, I get what you're trying to do, and you are putting on quite the performance, Vic. But at the end of it, I was like, I don't think anything came out of it. Nothing came out of it except that, people were talking about going after other people, and we already know that, you know. Right. So you still look shady. Yeah. They show us the whole oddballs thing.
Yeah. And what came out of it is that she admits that she was the invisible HOH now, because like she's kind of talking about it like everybody knows. And they're like, so wait, are you confirming that you were the invisible HOH? And she's like, yeah. No, I meant to say that. I promise I meant to, but I don't think she did. And then the whole oddballs thing was so funny to me because like Tara blows up the oddballs and is like, Victoria started it. And she's like, no, I didn't. I would never pick a stupid name like that.
I was like, oh, you did, Vic. You actually did, though. But that's funny. So, again, like you said, she's now burned so many bridges just to prove loyalty to these 3 people who can only take you so far. Beth could have broken a tie if Jed and Ty and Kiefer, or Jed and Ty and Brayden, but you weren't necessarily getting those. She might have been able to get Kiefer on board and Beth break it, but that was going to be really, really hard. And ultimately it did not work out for her.
It would be really hard because even then Victoria was Beth's target. I don't know. Beth did start to feel guilty, or at least, we saw
she did.
Of that. She was like, oh, I feel so bad that I did this to her. But I don't know. I think that Beth made the right move for her game, because the truth is that Victoria was trying to become Beth. Like, she wanted to be in with Ty and Jed. She wanted to get Beth out. So this was the best move for Beth's game. So we do get to the vote after this huge blow up house meeting, which kind of ended poorly with Victoria slinging some not nice things at Tara, and Tina's like, okay, that's a low blow, and I'm like, ooh, when Tina's saying it's a low blow, yikes, it's not good for you. But then Arissa does not announce double eviction. She just announced that it's going to be jury.
And I think this is interesting because all week the house guests were assuming it wasn't jury because Arissa didn't say it last week, right? So they're like, maybe, so we have one more week before jury starts. And so they filmed their goodbye messages to Vic before they had this information. And that makes a difference.
I would love to see those goodbye messages.
Yes. Those could have been super spicy because they didn't think Vic was going to jury.
I mean, let's not forget what Victoria's was to Austin last week. Like, she was like, yeah.
I know. Now I don't get to see
on your way out the door.
What other goodbye messages Vic was going to do.
I know. It's too bad.
It is a bummer to lose Vic. We get her out here in a unanimous vote. She's dressed up and the rest are not. So we know. I knew they gave her a heads up last night. Didn't know if she was able to change something today, but obviously not. But she went out on such a great note. Like she gets it. She's like, I'm going to win this game. And she was going to win this game.
She was poised to win. So it was smart of them to get her out. And she goes out and she's like, oh, girl, Arissa, I'm a super fan. No hard feelings. Like, I had so much fun. This is a dream. Like, she has the perfect attitude for someone who got totally blindsided.
100%. And when she first walked out, Arissa goes, legend. And that, like, Vic was like, what?
Yeah.
And then she's just like over the moon. She was like having the best day on her eviction day. Yeah. She was so happy to, know that she made a mark on this game, and she sure did. Like, she'll be back. She'll play again.
Oh, she's so, I mean, and, Arissa makes a comment, like, so many sad BB fans right now. And like, even if I wasn't necessarily like rooting for Victoria to win the game, God, she was such a good player. She can make comps and make moves, and she really made the house interesting. So, the house that is like, I don't know how much this is true anymore, but was for a while largely operating as these like duos. And she was like, I'm not going to like play that game. I'm going to like play everybody. So she was so fun to watch, and I'm really disappointed that she's gone, but it was a smart move because she was going to win.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just sad as a viewer to lose her, but you have to get her out if you're playing the game. So absolutely. So now when we come back, Arissa's like, it's a double eviction, y'all. Get ready for the first HOH.
And they do this before and after competition. And I got to say, just a quick note to the producers, it would be great to have the scores on screen as people are like getting things right and wrong, because I just was like, who's in the lead here? Like, what are the standings?
Right. What's happening? The first round, I thought they'd be eliminated. I'm so used to being eliminated. And no one stepped down. And she was like, oh, they have points. And I was like, wait, so who's got points now? Right. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
She eventually does tell us, like, Kiefer and Ty are in the lead. And then Kiefer keeps getting points. And he does end up winning with a perfect score of 5 points. There was a moment, David, I'm skipping ahead here a little bit, but there was a moment right before they go into vote where audio of Arissa going, that's so embarrassing, just real quick. And I wonder if it was because of these, like, needing points, because she eventually starts saying, like, Kiefer with 4 points or whatever, so-and-so with 5 points.
There was like a really long pause at one point, where like clearly the producers are like trying to figure something out. And I think that's when she was like, Kiefer and Ty, you are both in the lead with 3 points. But it was like a long pause before she announced that. So you could tell they were kind of scrambling, like maybe something wasn't working or I don't know what, but.
Yeah, well, whenever you hear someone say that's embarrassing, I was like, oh no! Who did something wrong? Who got fired? What happened?
Truly, yeah.
But with a Kiefer HOH, there's only one way that this is going to end. With Ro out the door.
With Ro out the door, exactly. So, of course, Rohan is the first. Like, we don't get to see any conversations in between Kiefer winning the HOH and putting up the nominees.
No.
It kind of acknowledges that. Like, you've had no time to think about this, but let's hear your nominations. And it's really like at this point, with the game that Kiefer's playing, there's almost no one for him to choose here. So, like, it's pretty obvious that it's going to be Rohan and Brayden to me.
He's like, Arissa, I've thought about this every day for the last month. How long have I been in this house? It will be Ro and Brayden.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to try to backdoor Rohan just because Ro is the veto king.
Yeah.
That was my only question at this point, but double evictions are probably too risky, too scary.
Yeah.
And so he went ahead and put Ro up next to Brayden. And for once in his life, Ty won a competition.
Yeah, he beasted it too. Like he really, I mean, Rohan, he was not close. From what I remember, he was like still back at the top.
Yeah.
But Ty just nailed this, and he wins the veto. And so then, of course, we get a little bit of like campaigning from both Rohan and Brayden to Ty, and Rohan, is kind of giving him the only pitch that he has, which is everybody wants me out, keep me as your shield, because people are eventually going to come after you, Ty, but not until they get me out first. So keep me. I could be beneficial for you. And then Brayden is like, I've been working with you, Ty, like loyalty. I'm with you. But Ty doesn't end up using it. So
yeah. Now, what Ro is saying makes sense, except that Ty is in such a good position right now where Jed and Beth are his shields. Those two are going before Ty. Ty is everyone's best friend.
Yep.
And so even though what Ro is saying is correct, he doesn't need Ro.
Yep.
And Ro will come after Jed and Ty. So no reason for Ty to take him down. Ty's working very closely with Kiefer. He's not going to mess with those noms. And I wondered if Tina and Tara were going to try to like pull something to keep Rohan, but it was probably just too short, too hectic for a double eviction for them to try to do something. And so it's unanimous.
Yeah. Rohan's gone. Bummer.
Rohan's gone.
Because Rohan turned into like a points beast. I was like, all these.
You got some points with him. You got some
points. Thank you. But he's out. Canada's sad because he's Canada's favorite. It's kind of, it's a little bit of like an obvious. Victoria was not obvious, like super fun first half of the double eviction. But then like what you want from the double eviction is someone like Rohan to win HOH and go after a Ty and a Jed who have been like so safe and secure this entire game. Like that's the kind of dream scenario for a double eviction. But Rohan didn't pull out the HOH. Kiefer did. And so.
Yeah, it's so hard to watch your underdog just go out like that. I mean, he really didn't have a great setup. He didn't have great alliance members. He just didn't have, like, his duo was already gone. He had to win vetoes to save himself, which is fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then when he just, you finally get to that point when you can't pull it out. I honestly, when I saw the maze, I was like, this is Rohan's comp. He's got this.
Me too.
Ty's not going to get this. Ty's not a puzzle guy.
Right.
I was totally wrong.
Totally wrong. Yeah.
Oh, totally wrong.
I got to give credit to Rohan, though, for making it as long as he did. Like, for someone who was a target from day one in the house and could never get his footing in this game and, like, forge any kind of meaningful alliance, like, it did feel like he was finally starting to make some ground, at least with, like, Brayden and Beth in the past week. But, like, props to him for making it to jury. And, that's great.
He really did not have great reads. He could not see the big picture. He couldn't really see who was really working and what was happening. If you told him something, he just went with it. So if you happened to be wrong, he just went with wrong information. And so, it was a little disappointing to see, but so excited that he made it to jury and got to fight. And he and Vic will sit in jury for a week together by themselves. And that's fine. They actually get along fine now that they don't have to like lie to each other.
Right. Yeah. So
there's another HOH that they will play tonight.
Okay. I was just going to ask, is there any action on the feeds?
Yeah. They're all just sort of talking about like who could win and what they would do. So it hasn't happened. Maybe it happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Usually it happens at night, but they're like really late. They're on East Coast.
Yeah, maybe they're like, we did enough tonight. We'll do the HOH tomorrow.
Yeah. But the other downside of losing Ro is the Sunsetters just keep sort of getting power and the trio keeps not being, like, they just keep being protected.
When is that now,
Yeah. I'm happy that Beth sort of stepped it up this week and she's not 100% playing for just the triangle anymore. I've been pleased with Ty breaking away from Jed and working on his social game. So there are sort of layers here, but we're getting down to so few here and a lot of them work together. It's not as exciting as it was,
Yeah. Are we down to 7 now? Is that what
7? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7. So we've got Tina and Tara still going strong as a duo. And we've got Beth,
Braden,
and Jed, and then Braden and Kiefer.
Yeah. Josh, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Josh.
David, do you have a want?
I think I want Tina to win HOH.
Oh, yes. That would be great. I would love Tina to win HOH because she will 100% put Jed and Ty up.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs to start making moves because even though we know she's got her head in the game and is super smart, she couldn't win right now because the house guests don't take her seriously.
Right.
Like Beth, Tina did a great job manipulating Beth this week, really had a hand in pushing her to do this Vic backdoor. So yeah, that would be great. I mean, I'd love a Beth HOH just for my points, but not really for viewing. Not really.
Yeah, because if Beth won HOH, it'd be Tara again. And who, Kiefer? Or do you think she'd put Tara and Tina up to break up?
No, she doesn't really like or trust Kiefer, even though they've been working together. So I think she would prefer to get Kiefer out next. He's the next really good player, which is true. Victoria, Kiefer, and Tina are the best players in that house. So she got Vic out. If she were able to get Kiefer out, that's a resume. That would be impressive.
Yeah, it really was.
Seth, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Seth.
Amy and you took a bet that the invisible HOH would stay secret, and it didn't. So I lost, and the deal was a $10 super chat. Oh, yeah. We get to benefit from y'all's bet.
I love that. Make more of those bets.
Thank you. We appreciate that. You know what? Vic did a really good job of keeping it a secret for that week. You should have put a time limit on it, Seth. You should have put a time limit because she did it for the whole week. Austin
Kiefer,
was.
She told Kiefer.
She did tell Kiefer, but Austin was evicted, surprised that it was by Vic. But
she played Austin.
3 days later, and it got out there. That was it. So thank you for the super chat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that Tara would be an interesting HOH too, but I don't want Tara to be HOH. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't hate it because we got that story about her brother.
That's
so if
true.
She gets this HOH
really
is the one she wants. So it airs on Monday for her brother's anniversary.
Okay, then I do.
And she'll put Jed and Ty up. That would be fine. And then
and also it would be nice to see. I mean, if Tina's HOH, then Tara's safe. But I kind of feel like Tara's gonna be on the block a lot now until she's out. She's an obvious nominee now. So seeing her get HOH. We don't have to deal with that obviousness. That would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, Tara, she's either going to be dragged to the end as a goat or she's just going to be a pawn every week.
Yeah.
Until it's that's fine. We can get Tara out.
Right.
Agreed, Yesenia. Oh, yeah. The Canada is going back into lockdown. Some areas are, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Big Brother.
Really?
So, yes.
Wow.
They're having another icky time.
Oh my God. I wasn't hearing about that. Yikes.
But Big Brother is safe so far, although they haven't been testing the house guests, which is weird because
that is,
production does step in there and there is contact. So they should start testing the house guests to be safe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, is that triangle just going to be so safe? Till the end.
I mean, who's going to go after them? Tina, Tara, but Braden's not going to go after them right now.
Maybe.
He's working with them.
Braden is tough to tell because he's working with everybody, but because he's in such a good position, he just shouldn't win. He really shouldn't right now.
Is he working with Kiefer?
Not really.
Yeah.
He could go after Kiefer.
Yeah.
Especially since Kiefer just put him up.
Yep.
That would be good. Go after Kiefer. Do that.
Yeah.
Brayden. Do that. Well, all right. So we don't know who the HOH is yet, but it's very exciting. I will be over on Jolene's channel tomorrow. We'll obviously know who HOH is by then, so we'll talk about all of that. And then David and I are back on Monday for Drag Race.
More Drag Race.
More Drag Race and more BBCan next week.
Yes.
Yes, all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for joining us live in the chat. I appreciate that. You guys hanging out with us.
Yes, we love that. And for those of you joining us later, leave us a comment and tell us, you know, who are you sad to see go? Victoria, Rohan, maybe both. And let us know what you want to see for the HOH this coming week.
Yes, let us know, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.